Hello. One second. My packages. Papaya. Ayapa. There we go. Had to get myself all wrapped up. Get myself all gift wrapped. Ready to go. Dang, just moving around in my chair, just. There we go. Like, follow me everywhere. I'm to recenter myself here. Fix my. Too low. One up. There we go. The armrest has to be perfect. Perfect to a T. What is the starting material? It should be this one. Yeah. How's everyone doing? Hope y'all wonderful day. Always do that. Oh. Weirdo. There we go. There we go. One time I sculpted and I made it like really far before I realized I was sculpting backwards in a way. Because instead of this looking forward at me for front, I was on the back the entire time. Still worked, but it was just one of those things, you know? How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm just sculpting away. Another day. Another day, another sculpt. There we go. And I am on the proper YouTube, right? Yeah, I am. Always good to check. One second. Nope. Hello Fresh should come in today. I'm trying to figure out something. We'll see. I don't need to go too far. Oop. Oop. Gotta remember I can't use the numpad. I'll do that. Where is it? $2024. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I think I said that already, but I really do hope everyone's having a great day. I'm just doing some quick sculpts a little bit till I feel like I want to get into my next sculpt. Before I get into my next big project, you know? think I riding home. I read something really interesting last night, and I have a lot to say about it. I'm gonna wait. I have a lot to say. What was I doing? Oh. Just jamming. Mind me. That's fine. Once I get the front sides, then I'll worry about the. I'm just doing almost the same as what I did yesterday, but not really going to like part of me just wants to focus on the head for today, but kind of just, you know, got distracted and here I am. Just got distracted and here I am. There we go. What's this? Okay. I was finally catching up on more Dungeon Meshi. I need to start reading it. I'll probably start reading it once I finish this one manga that I'm reading right now. Well, once I get near finished with whatever. Because right now I'm in the in a phase where I'm just reading to catch up kind of deal. Well, not really catch up, but I'm like waiting for new chapters and I read a new chapter and then I go back onto waiting. I did start a new series last night though. That was recommended to me from yesterday's stream. So if they show up, I'll have a lot to say about it. The series in question is called Boys Abyss. I told my friend, and they asked the exact same question that I asked when it was recommended. I was like, is it a BL? Because it sounds like a BL, you know? But it's not. It is not. I thought it was forbidden. And then I started reading it and I was like, huh. This is a roller coaster ride. It is interesting, to say the least. I'm hooked though. I'm not gonna lie, I am. I'm invested. Oop, wrong one. Oof, that's weird. Mostly how I'm feeling right now. That's the weird thing. Not what I'm doing. I'm confident in what I'm trying to do. A little bit. Somewhat. trying to change up how I do things just a little bit. What up, City Bell? Shouldn't you be at work? Or are you dying today? Uh-oh. The cat distribution system. Where'd you find this one? Damn. Pixar didn't happen. The what? How do you... What? How does Parmesan feel about this? Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I think it's gonna be a while before Parmesan gets used to the newbie in the house. That's how it was when I had I had a cat, and then I ended up getting a second one, and it took a minute for them to actually like each other. A very long minute. Dang. Oh, progress. Nope, now you have two cats. How does it make you feel? Noodle. 1 second. Oh yeah. Parmesan's gonna be pissed. That's competition in the house. Can't have two cats. Way to go. Way to go, City. Don't ask me what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. There we go. Okay, now I know what I'm doing. When she gets over being scared of it. Gotcha. So now you're just doing the basics, the house training. Basics for the new one. Notice how I said where'd you find it? Because no one ever goes and like gets an actual cat. It's usually always found. Why is it? Ah, gotcha. That's fair. Would you say this is less or more traumatizing than when you found Parmesan de Reine underneath a clock? Little noodle. I think I need to. Yeah, most definitely. Now that you got that. Well, congratulations to you and Tommy on your second kid. You're really out here collecting them. Yeah, that sounds like something possible. That sounds like a possibility. This is true, but let's not jump the gun just yet. Because it could be a furry baby. It's too soon. Too soon to tell at the moment, you know? Yep, exactly. Because I was like, you never know. Might come out more chest hair than me, and I have none. You're like, that's not a baby. That's a grown ass man. Oh, City. There's this manga I started reading, and it is wild. I mean, I started reading it last night at 9 p.m. I am currently on chapter 32. I'll let you decide on if that answers that question or not. I remember that one series that I was reading a while back, the one with the guy with the 3 wives. Yeah, it's like messy. It's like that type of messy, but messier. And I'm just like, damn, this is messy. Because honestly, at the rate that this one is going, I have a general idea of what's gonna happen, but I don't know. It was like at first I was like, okay, it's one of these, but I'll explain it whenever. Because there's someone that recommended it to me on stream yesterday. I don't know if they'll show up today, but I like to talk about when if they get here. If they don't, it's fine. I'll tell you about it in Discord or something. But it's pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. The tension is palpable. It's called Boys Abyss. And before you ask, because I asked the exact same question, and when I mentioned it to my other friend, they asked me the exact same question. Is it a boy love? No, it is not a BL. I thought it was too at first. Because when they recommended it, I was like, is it a BL? And they're like, no, just read it. I was like, okay. And now I'm just sitting here like, damn. I'll send you the synopsis. You should get the picture. There you go. How's it going, Icy? How are you doing? I read an article the other day about the event that's going on right now, the yokai event. There's like a whole ass article about it because of the blue mages. Apparently it's like a big thing going on like Reddit and stuff where everyone's like really upset and mad at the blue mages. All because of a thing called missile, which I know all so well. Is it considered griefing if they're like getting to the fates and just clearing them out fast enough? The one I read was they were just clearing it out too fast. They're going into fates and clearing them out fast and moving on to the next fate. So a lot of people are upset that they're not able to do the fates. Ah, gotcha. I'm just experimenting today, trying to see what works and what doesn't work on. I'm trying to That is true. I'll probably end up, when I do it, I'm gonna look in Party Finder and see. We got until June. It's like what, June 18th, June 20th or something like that. Further in, right there. I remember reading that you're not starting until at least another month or so yourself. If I remember correctly. Okay. It was fine where it was. Probably a lot. I wouldn't be surprised. Probably gonna be a good chunk. Good chunk of noodle. Chunk of a doodle. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be a good, like a good chunk of people. Unless the majority of people are just not even bothered with it. Like they're just complaining, but not really doing anything, you know? Like, whatever. I'll just wait. Ain't worth my time, headache right now. You know, that kind of. Just fair. So I'm kind of doing the same thing where I'm just waiting a little bit. I like how sometimes when it's just making a single line just makes everything pop, even if it's still flat, you know? I like that. Right now I don't really. uh yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Hopefully they calm down. That way people can enjoy the content. Because the yokai event, when was the last one? Like 8 years ago or something like that? 8 or 6 years ago? So not everyone got to get this stuff. Also, City, did you get my my picture? You're still there? Okay, nose is a little bit. So what's the plans for today, Icy? Are you gonna finally start the yokai or just waiting some more? Hmm. Dynamis. Moving to Dynamis or to where we are? Ah, gotcha, gotcha. I didn't know Megiddo was on a different server. I thought they were on the same as us, to be honest. Everyone's got so many different. Everyone's got like different names on Final Fantasy 14 compared to the ones I know them by. So I'm like, I kind of just, you know. Ah, okay. That makes sense. Cause I was like, wait a minute, but I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was just misremembering something. Cause it'd be like that sometimes for me, anyway. Ah, gotcha. You know what I wish they would do, SC? That would be to actually make instance housing. Because we got sanctuary, but it'll be cool if it's like houses instead of sanctuary. That'd be cool. Or at least add a house into sanctuary that people can visit. Because we can all have like private islands, but we can't have a private house on the private island. Make it make sense. That's good. That's good. Y'all got everything up and running. Wait, what does that mean? Are they doing it? Where they're making it to where if you pay like a monthly subscription on top of it, you get like a instance housing, like a limited housing or whatever? Or is that just an idea? Yeah, I've been gone for a while, so I've been kind of out of the loop of what's going on. Oh, that's how it always been though. I thought there was something new. That's how we lost our my old FC house from my other server before I moved over to the one I'm on now. Probably. I don't mind them not changing that, but the you know how we have the apartments? It'd be nice if they had that, but for the island sanctuary is all. Instead of an apartment size, it's like an actual building that you can, like a house that you can customize and stuff on the sanctuary. Because who doesn't want a little house that they can decorate next to their farm and all that stuff? Little cottage. I can add a fish tank. We'll see. There's so much empty space though that we could, like, they can convert that, you know, that little hut that you have that you can change the music at and stuff. They can convert that to a house that you can decorate and stuff and add your own stuff to it. Because what really is the point of that little hut? It's way better than the apartments. They can shut down the apartments. Be like, we have a new housing program. The apartments are now closing down and moving to your sanctuary island. It'll be a good little campaign. Yeah, the mammoths don't need a shelter. They don't need one. What they need to do is go out there and get a job so they can afford their own place instead of using my land for their shelter. Or something like that. I don't pay well, I'll be honest. Definitely don't pay well because I haven't been on the island since the week it came out. I want to fire them and hire the Loprits. Damn, there's squatter right. There are squatter rights, huh? They done got me with the squatter rights. Oh shit. I am not a robot. Okay. My phone was going off for no reason. There we go. Fixed. Saved. Kind of annoying. I had to set the notifications to not give you a notification every 3 seconds. I hate it when apps do that sometimes. They'll notify you for every single little thing. It's like, bro, if no one's sending a message, don't notify me. I don't need to know that DoorDash is doing a special on certain type of deliveries that I don't even participate in anyway. Like, I know they're great for delivering like food and stuff like that, but they added so many other things they can do now where it's like they'll pick up packages and deliver them to the UPS or whatever for you. They'll do this, they'll do that, they'll go shopping for you and all this other stuff. And it's like, bro, I just want to order some chicken nuggies. I don't care about all the extra shit. I just want to know when my food is on the way and when it's around the corner. I didn't order anything. I just give an example of the messages that I actually care about. Since I made everything so small. It's just mean. Maybe I'm tripping. Yeah, I am tripping. Okay, I see what the problem is now. Yep, I see what the problem is. Did I accidentally move him and didn't realize it? This always happens to me. Need to be further up, forward anyway. Like right there. Once I added the hair, kind of just became obvious what was going on. Oh. Oops. Oops. Still two. You ever get those days where you do something so many times that it should just work for you, but for some reason it's like one of those days where you can't replicate what you do on a normal basis if you're just off that day? This is definitely one of those days where it's like feel a little bit off, you know? Hey, how's it going, Anna? Welcome on in. Not really scoped anything in general, just trying to figure out some stuff that I want to do. Test, like, playing around with my art style and adjusting it a bit and stuff. Trying to figure something out with it. Before I start my next project, I want to an experiment. Maybe with like a thinner upper lip and thinner nose, sort of smaller eyes, stuff like that. Eyes with more defined shape to them compared to how I had it before. So it's more like a, I wouldn't say mixture of like a study or whatever before I start the next project. Yesterday I was kind of just messing around with male torsos. Today I'm messing around with a female face. Try to figure out what exactly do I like or want for future faces. If that makes sense. I was actually also a second. I was also waiting on you too, Anna. I don't know if you're gonna show up today or not. Glad you did. Because I read the I started reading that manga that you recommended yesterday. And it's a mess in a good way, honestly. Like, Rose's life is a mess right now. I stopped on I started reading around 9, like when I normally I like lay down at 9-ish to start reading and stuff like that. And I stopped at like midnight, and I just finished chapter 31. And it was when for be some spoilers for the next couple minutes, guys, because a lot to talk about here when it comes to this series. But he found out about his mom, so he asked the teacher for the money to use instead of the money for the instead of going to school and stuff, to use the money for being able to leave the town with his family. That's where I'm at. And then his teacher gives him another idea instead. And I'm just like, oh man. Wonder how that whole thing is gonna fall apart. Because it's like everything is falling apart. Like, things that are not supposed to be, that are supposed to be kept secret are being told. about him and the idol and everything like that. I'm just like, damn, this is gonna this is getting interesting. It's like watching a slow train wreck and you're not able to look away, you know? Like you want to look away, but you can't. And I'm invested now. And I became extremely invested after like the first chapter. I'll explain it. Give a little quick summary for everyone that are just joining or whatever. So, reading this manga called Boy's Abyss. It's not a boy love or BL. I thought it was at first too when it was brought up, because it's like, yo, the name of it just sounds like it would be a BL. But it's about this guy. He's getting ready for graduation from high school, whatever. And so he's trying to figure out what he's gonna do, if he's gonna leave his small countryside town and go to the city or not. His friend is going to. I don't even hate it. Like, it's good. It's just a mess. But yeah, his friend introduced him to like an idol group, and he really likes the music and stuff. And then he meets this he lives his family is pretty bad, to be honest. Well, not too bad. It's bad. His brother's a shut-in that pretty much punches holes in walls and screams for fried chicken. I don't know why it has to be fried chicken, but he wants fried chicken. His mom is pretty much worked to death, so they say. But she's pretty much working like nonstop and stuff like that to provide for the family. The dad's gone, like bro dipped, and so the main character doesn't know where his dad even went. And his mom's also taking care of their grandmother who has dementia. Nothing really said about her. It's just, you know, his mom has to take care of her and the kids and all that other stuff. So it's kind of like mom's always exhausted or whatever. But yeah, he has a childhood friend. I wouldn't really call that dude a childhood friend. I'd call it a childhood bully that he thinks is a friend, who makes him go out and buy cigarettes for him and stuff like that. And it's like he tries to buy some, and the clerk is like, "Nah, you can't buy any. You're not old enough." Because he isn't. But he comes back later in his normal clothes, not to buy any cigarettes or anything like that, but in his normal clothes to buy the chicken for his brother and some food. And he sees her giving what he claims to be like a homeless man a food behind the 7-Eleven. We'll call it a 7-Eleven, little convenience store. And she's pretty cool, I guess. But he realizes who she is. She's the idol from the group that his friend introduced him to. And he's like, "Yo, you're that idol." And she's like, "Yeah, don't tell anyone." So I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she's like, "I'm new to the town. You want to show me around?" He's like, "Sure, why not?" He comes back an hour later. They go hang out and stuff like that. And then she's like, "Hey, you want to go for a swim?" And when I say go for a swim, I mean the swim, the end it all swim, for all those that are wondering. So, little warning here. There's definitely talks of going for swims, if you know what I mean, jumping off of bridges. And he's like, sure, I got nothing to live for. But they're like, at first he's kind of like on the edge or whatever. And she's like, don't worry, I know how to make it to where it's worth it for you. So they go back to her place. Obviously, you know what happens back at her place. I don't have to go in details. But his first time is pretty much with an idol that he admired for the longest, that wants to go for a swim with him. Yeah, it's like there's like a lot of escalation. It's like there's no build up or anything. It's just like, it's like, hey, you want to go for a double swim together? He's like, yeah, sure. But first, let's bang it out. And then it's like, okay, cool. They go at it. Then this guy walks in and she's like, I thought you were supposed to be at the other house. Yeah. And then, yeah. And then the guy comes in into her house, into her room, whatever. And he's like, yo, what's up? And she's like, you're supposed to be at the other house. And then the main character's like, who is this guy? And then she's like, oh, that's my husband. And the guy is like, hey, how's it going? Pretty much. And he like rushes and grabs his clothes and runs out of the house. And the husband is like, yo, where are you going? You're gonna get cold. And so he's like, what the fuck? That's what I was thinking at first too, but there's more. So he runs home and he goes home to his mom or whatever. Like not go his mom or whatever, but he goes home, brings the food. He doesn't bring food. He just goes home and then, you know, he does his thing. He wakes up the next day and he's like, he's talking to his mom and stuff and he's heading out. And the guy that was in the house was outside and was like, yo, you forgot your bike. And then the mom was like, you know this guy? And he's just like, yeah. The guy was like, yeah, he let me borrow his bike the other day. He was really cool about it. And I saw that the name was this name. So I came to the house and I figured he was your son. And then she was like, I haven't seen you since high school. He's like, yeah, it's been a while, but here's your bike. And then his mom is like, hey, that guy, stay away from him. He's a bad guy. No, the husband was an old high school friend of hers, apparently. Of his mom's. So that happens. And the main character's like, what the fuck? Why is this guy so cordial? He literally walked in on me sleeping with his wife. But then he's like, maybe she doesn't want to be with him because why else would she ask me to go for a double swim with her? Why would she want to end it all with me instead of being with him, whatever? So there must be that going on. And what else? I'm trying to tell in the exact order, but there's like so much that going on that I'm just like, holy shit. So he goes meet back up with her or whatever, and no, he doesn't realize that until like way later. What happened after that? So he's lost in thought. They ended up talking it out or something. I can't remember exactly what happened, but they're like, okay, we'll do it today. Sort of. This will be the day that we do it or whatever. And it's like during a typhoon or something like that. And so he's like, cool. And they're sitting by the river or whatever, holding hands, about to jump. And the teacher, his teacher is driving by that night and she sees that he's about to jump. So she rushes over and pretty much saves him. Well, she slips and falls down the hill and almost lands into the water, but the chick that he was gonna jump with saves her. And then was like, okay, we'll do it some other day. And he was like, okay, cool. So the teacher takes him back home. Well, not back to his house, but back to her house. And she's like, yo, what the fuck? why are you gonna jump or whatever? You got so much to live for or whatever. You need to clean yourself up, stay here for the day, and don't go to school, whatever. Because she knows that his life back at home or whatever is really bad. Like she knows about his living situation. And so she's like, you stay here. I'll tell you can tell she texted his mom like yo, just stay. I'm staying at a friend's house tonight, whatever. Don't come, you don't have to go to school, whatever, it's fine. And it turns out the teacher has some issues of her own because she's like 30 something with like no husband or anything like that. And you know, it's very important in that type of culture to have like someone, or you have like a career and like, you know, have a family and kids in like your early 30s or 20s or whatever. So she has like absolutely nothing. And so she comes back to the house after she's like bringing some food or whatever like that for him, because she asks him what he want to eat to dinner or whatever. And he's like, actually, I think I'm gonna go home. And she's like, you can't go home because your living situation is pretty bad. Just stay this one last day or whatever. I brought you some stuff and we're gonna make some food and stuff. He's like, nah, I think I'm gonna go home. And then she makes a move on him, and he's like, whoa. And she's like, oh my god, just forget I just kissed you right there. Just please forget about it. And then he's like, nah, it's okay, pretty much. So and she also wants to there's like this running theme where everyone kind of hates their lives. So she also wouldn't mind going for a double swim too. Well, going for a swim. But they ended up she wants him to live on or whatever. But she's like, yo, we could just have this, you know, secret relationship thing going on, and don't tell anyone, sort of. We'll keep it a secret between us, and when you graduate, then you can go on your way and I'll go on my way. It's nothing serious. So he's like, cool, whatever. And his other childhood friend, who's this chick, she's the one that's gonna go to like Tokyo and stuff like that. She's actually gonna go places, is what they kind of build up for her. And it's like she works at the shop with her family. Her family owns like a shop, and she likes this author who wrote a book about the whole because their town is known as like a place where lovers, like, you know, the person wrote a book, made a fictional novel, love novel, whatever, about a couple that pretty much ended all go for a swim in their town. So she's like, she really likes this author, and so she's working the shop, and she notices that the author is actually in the shop, and she's like, oh my god, you're the author. And he's like, yeah, that's me. And the author is the guy that the husband that we met not long ago. And you're like, okay. And she wants to be an editor, and she's like, I want to be your editor one day. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, whoever wrote this is on some type of drugs or something like this. How do you think of all this stuff? But so he's like, yeah, just we can hang out, you know. I'll look over your stuff. And so they hang out. She goes over to his second house, and she's asking him about where he got his inspiration from and all this other stuff. And he mentions that, hey, I used to live here myself, whatever. He makes some passes at her about she hates the what's that red lily thing? We all know the one. It's the most common red lily that's in like a lot of anime or whatever. it's really prominent in Tokyo Ghoul. And she's like, I really hate that thing. And he's like, what do you mean? It looks really good on you, whatever. And he says her actual name instead of the name that's like her nickname. And so she pretty much falling head over heels on this guy. And she's a lot smarter than that, though. When they're over to play, she has like his book edited up and stuff like that. And she's like, yeah, this is all the things that I thought about your book. And he's like, ah, forget about that. Why don't you come and sit over here? And she was like, nah, fuck that. You're a creep. I'm out of here. And his response was, atta girl, you know, while she ran out. So I don't know what he's doing, but bro is up to something. I don't know. And so she's just got devastated that her favorite author is a creep. And the main character is off doing main character shit. He's not talking to the idol anymore. For now. And his best friend, the bully. I forgot to mention the bully guy, huh? There's a lot about that bully guy. Oh, but so the main character finally makes it home or whatever. And his mom is like, yo, you know your best friend's dad got you a job at the construction, working at the construction, so you'll be able to help out in the family and stuff like that when you graduate. And it'll be in this town, even though the main character's like, I don't want to be in this town anymore, kind of deal. His life is kind of decided for him, you know? And she's like, well, he really wants you to be part of that. But she doesn't, we'll just assume that she doesn't know that the so-called, the dad, his best friend's dad or whatever, the guy, the bully, is a bully and not actually really best friends anymore, which is kind of confusing. Because I'm like, are they actually friends or is a bully? Because he used to be friends at one point. It's basically like the Bakugo relationship they got going on. So it's like, okay. But all of his, the guy friend is just calls him his like gopher or whatever, because he just used for going buying stuff for him. He's not actually, he didn't treat him like an actual friend. But the main character goes back to the shop to go talk to her about his situation. And he pulls her away. And the bully best friend was at the grocery store and saw him running off in the rain with her. So he's like, yo, what the fuck? So he took note of that. Eventually the guy best friend was able to meet her one day and was like, yo, stay away from him. He's not allowed to be dating anyone as hot as you, whatever. And she's like, don't worry, we're not anything anymore. We're not dating or whatever. Do you want to do it with me? Not double swim, but do you want to do it with me, sir? Though. And then she also, they're about to do it out in the field, but she mentioned that the only reason why she knew the main character was because they were gonna jump off a bridge together, and the best friend the bully guy didn't like that, so he practically choked her. It was like, yo, stay away from him, he's mine. And then he leaves. They never do it. He just leaves. He's like, he's mine. So that's what I'm like, man, are they gonna fuck too? Like, is he gonna fuck his bully best friend guy? Is that where this is going? And so the female best friend does like a confession with him. It's like, yo, I've met the author. He's an asshole. I'm never gonna see him anymore. And then he was like, yo, I met that author too. He's an asshole. Don't ever go see him again. And she's like, do you have anything else you want to confess? And he was like, nah, I got nothing else to confess. Mind that he slept with her favorite idol, and he's sleeping with his teacher now. And then she gets news that she can't go to the college that she wanted to go to anymore outside of the country. Well, Tokyo College, because there's like some crazy party that happened, and her family was like, nah, you can't go. We're not paying for you to go to that school. Go to a different school. So she's devastated, and she goes running to the main character's house or whatever, sobbing. They talk it out, then they kiss, and it's like, yo, now he's made out with his childhood friend, female childhood friend. He's sleeping with his teacher, and he slept with an idol that wants to jump off a bridge with him. And now he's got the teacher gave him a money so that way he can actually take the exams and leave the town when he graduates and stuff. So it like flipped. Now she's stuck in the town and he's able to leave. And it's like, okay, this is where that's going. And I can't even like sculpt right now. I'm like so distracted. But what else? We're getting there. Peak writing, by the way. Peak writing. Oh. The childhood friend, the female childhood friend, is like taking stuff out of the. So the main character decides, okay, I'm gonna go talk to the idol chick again. Like she's just always talking to her or whatever. And he's figuring out what's going on for her, and then it's like, yo, why don't you do the double thing with the husband or whatever, like your husband, whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, I've actually never really slept with my husband before. We just got married because I was an idol and he thought I wasn't good as an idol and I was lost and he just tells me what to do. But we've never actually slept together. We just got married. And he's like, oh, well, shit. And he does research for her on the book to find the spot that was written on the book of where the double deaths happened in the past. And also, I forgot to mention that the husband mentioned to his childhood friend chick that he was actually one of the two people that tried to end it all at that spot, and that's why he wrote a book about it. And he was the survivor, and she was the one that died, and he survived, sort of, and he's like devastated by it. Which turns out that's a lie, because he mentions that to because she mentions it to the main character, and the main character mentions it to her to try to figure out what the fuck's going on, the idol, and the idol is like, bro is lying. So he does some research, they go find the spot, and she's like, yeah, this is the spot if you ever want to actually do it. I'm not gonna do it anymore because I'm gonna be leaving the town, but hey, this is the spot if you want to do it. And she's like, no, I didn't really want to do it at this spot. I just wanted to do it at that last spot because you said that you wanted to leave the town, and if we did it in that river, then it'll take your body out of the town. And it's like, the fuck? He's like, oh, okay. So they ride back, and they're saying goodbye or whatever. Not like kissing or anything like that, just talking, saying goodbye. And in the car is the female childhood friend, you know, the one that he just kissed the other day. She sees him with her, and she realizes, yo, she's hot. And she's like, damn, I'm not good enough for this guy? Sir Dill. So she's like going through mental gymnastics and stuff like that back at home because she's a little bit on the chubbier side. So she's like, you know, I'm not pretty enough for him. This fucking sucks. Whatever. I'm gonna go to the writer. So she goes to the writer. At the same time, the main character goes to the writer, the husband guy at the other house, to talk to him. And he's like yelling at him. He gets there before her, so he's inside yelling the other side of the door, and she hears the writer mention, it's like, bro, you're sleeping with your favorite idol and shit, and you're mad at me because of the situation that I had between you and your female friend. And the female friend hears that and is like, yo, you're secretly sleeping with my favorite idol. And they run off, and the husband's like, they'll be back, closes the door. Like, bro's just starting drama. And then she's like, she hears about the double jump and all that other stuff, you know, the go for double swim and all that other stuff. So she's like, yo, you slept with my idol and you're gonna go for a swim with her? He's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do it anymore. And then she's like, I want to meet this idol chick. So they go meet her. They go out to like a bar or whatever. Well, not a bar, but a restaurant to go eat or whatever. And she's like, yo, stay away from the female friend is to the idols. Like, yo, stay away from him. If you're gonna go do a double jump or whatever, do it with your husband, not with him. He's got a lot to live for, whatever. And she's like, okay, cool, whatever. And then the best friend gets a phone call, leaves the table, and that's when the bully best friend sees them and is like, yo, what the fuck? So, and then the main character's talking to the idol and the idol is like, yeah, it's whatever, I'm out. So she leaves. And then the female best friend comes back and is like, okay, let's go. And when they leave, and the bully is like, yo, where the fuck are you? Why are y'all hanging out together or whatever? Where are you going? I didn't want you to be near that idol or whatever. And then they're like, it's like, don't you have better things to do than bully us? We're leaving this town. And he's like, no, you're not. And he's like, yeah, we are. And he's like, okay. The bully's like, okay. Yeah, he's like, that ain't happening. You gotta buy me cigarettes and be my gopher for the rest of your life. And the main character's like, nah, we're getting out of here. And he's like, okay, you're not leaving, and I can tell you why. And he's like, if you want to know more about your father, then meet me at this location at this time. And the main character's like, huh? My father? So he's like, okay, cool, whatever. I'll go meet my bully best friend around this time. So they're like in this parking lot at like a hotel or whatever. And he's like, so what are we here for? And he's like, you're about to learn about your father. And then he's like, okay. And then one of the doors open and they like hide. And it's his mom coming out of a room, and the guy that's standing at the door is the bully's father. And it's like, he's like, so my mom is sleeping with your dad? What the fuck? And he's like, yeah, so apparently your mom was in a really bad situation with your father, and my dad was like, yo, and pretty much scared him out of town, like got him out of town. And as repayment, your mom sleeps with my dad on occasion, and it's been going on for like years now. And so he's like, the fuck? And he's like, and then the bully's like, so you better go ahead and get home before your mom gets there. You should be able to, well, not before she gets there, but she'll be home before you do, sort of. He gets home, his mom's like, you know, stepping out of the shower or whatever. she just got through shower and stuff, and he's like fucking devastated, and he goes like cries in his room, whatever, because obviously we know why she's showering now. And she was supposed to be at work, so now I'm under the impression she was never working. She was just sleeping with the bully's dad and collecting paychecks for him. And she always said that she was working. She always worked at nights, so it was like kind of adding up for him. So he's like, the fuck. So now he's trying to figure out how he can get them out of that situation, because he's like, okay, my mom is pretty much being blackmailed or controlled in this situation. We need to get away from this, my bully's family in general. So he goes to his teacher, who was originally going to give him money to basically pay for his tuition and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, yeah, I don't want to go to college anymore, but can I still use that money that you're going to give me, so that way me and my family can skip town? And the teacher's like, nah, I got a better idea for you, because your family is shit. She's like, why don't we both skip town and disappear? And that's pretty much the end of where I'm at. And I'm just like, the fuck? So I'm waiting for the fallout between him and his teacher, where everyone finds out that he is basically seeing his teacher. Then, you know, maybe we all know what's gonna happen. She's gonna lose her job. It's gonna become like the biggest thing in town, and there's probably gonna be some swimming going on. Like, with the way that this show is going, there's probably gonna be some swimming. And I'm just like, damn, this is a train wreck. This is a lot to take in. I'm only 31 chapters in out of 172 chapters. It's supposedly supposed to, the series ends like sometime this year in 2024. So yeah, there's that. And that's pretty much what I'm reading right now. Good blame Anna. They're the ones that recommended it. I don't even know if it was a recommendation or just, hey, this shit's wild. Maybe it was a setup, you know? Yeah. I do take recommendations for series if anyone ever has one to read and it's like, yo, you should read this. And I'd be like, okay. I'll let you know if it's a... You know what was a mess and not as messy as this series? It was the Harukin or something like that. Harukin, which was the one about the that follows the chick around as the main character, and she marries the pianist, and he has like 2 other wives, and she's the 3rd wife. That one is less messier. Then this one, that's for sure. Why do I always end up making... I just realized something. Why am I always ending up making like elves or long things with long ears? Like, what is up with that? I prefer it on this side. Once I finish this series, because I'm invested now, there's so much that's going on. I just want to know what's gonna happen to the main characters, to all the characters in general, because it's messy, and I'm invested now. So I'm actually gonna finish the series and see where it goes. before I get into reading anything else at the moment. Because I want to know more about, because they kind of did another reveal too. I forgot to mention. It turns out, because when he was doing research on the thing, on the location of where the double swim took place, the article read differently than what the guy told the his female best friend, because he said that him and his girlfriend at the time did it and he survived, but in the article it said that two people did it, but the female was the one that survived, not the male. So trying to figure out what's going on with that whole situation. And there's also been hints, not really like hints, but they kind of been saying, because the idols mentioned it a couple times to the main character, and she's like, you really look like that author guy. So I'm under the impression that the reason why the mom knows that guy is because that guy is actually his father who got ran out of town. Or could be like an uncle or something like that, but they're hinting a lot at him looking like the even though their hair color is different. Like his is black, which I'm pretty sure his is black, the author's is black, and the main character is like a blonde, which his mom is blonde, so he obviously got the blonde hair from his mom, the color from his mom, but everyone's saying that he looks like the author. So we'll see where it goes. Yeah, that series is a mess. I was honestly, I got hooked the moment that so I was a little confused at first, the moment when he slept with the idol, and then the idol's husband walks in, and then the husband's like super cool as fuck about the whole situation, and that's when I was kind of invested. I was like, okay, what the fuck's going on? So we'll see. I'll give y'all updates on the whole situation. All right, I'll keep y'all updated. Even if you never asked, I'll keep you updated. So I'll probably end up reading another 30 chapters tonight. Didn't mean to do that. And those that are wondering what it's called, again, for anyone that just came in, they're in the middle of the rant or through the explanation. It's called Boy's Abyss, and the book is called Lover's Abyss. The book that they're all talking about in the series is called Lover's Abyss. So we'll see where this goes. Either way, shit's a mess. If anyone has any recommendations for anything to read, do don't mind telling me. I'll add it to my list. I'll check out the Oyasumi Pun. I think is what it's called. It sounds weird. Let's see. We'll go to browse here. Good night. Oh, well, yes, me. Okay. It is manga, seinen, mature, drama, psychological, romance, school life, slice of life, and tragedy. I'm starting to notice a trend here, Anna. Starting to notice a trend. Oh, it's over. It's 147 chapters and it's done, apparently. Those are the good ones. When it's done, so I can just read through the whole thing and then call it a day. I still need to read The Fable. I have it on my list. MC's really good design. Gotcha. At the rate that I'm going with the current series, and it's only 140, this one's also 147 chapters. I'll probably be getting on to the Oyasumi one after that, and then I'll probably finish that within the week if it's if I find it interesting or good. But I do like when it comes to me, when it comes to what I really enjoy in like books and stuff like that, I've always did like anything that's psychological, thriller, history, not history, but mystery. History is fine. There are some really good history type stuff like Vinland Saga and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily read a whole bunch of like action-packed stuff. I do read a lot more of psychological thrillers and stuff like that, and mysteries and stuff. And then I also like reading messy rom-coms and shit. Which is a lot of the stuff that I read. I don't really have a genre that as long as it's good, I'll read it. I haven't ran into anything so far that I'm like, this is horrible, I hate it. I haven't ran into anything like that yet. Everything's been fairly good so far. And I hear Fable's really good. I saw that it has an anime out. I was reading I need to continue reading Don to Don. And I also need to finish or start reading Dungeon Meshi. I'm almost done with the anime and I want to start reading the actual manga. So I hear Dungeon Meshi gets pretty dark. Which is strange for a show that's about like cooking inside of a dungeon and stuff like that, and then supposedly gets dark at some point. At least that's the rumors that I'm kind of hearing, so I'm definitely gonna, because it reminds me of like what like Made in Abyss was, where it was like, oh, this is about going on an adventure and stuff, and then the next thing you know it, the elevator scene, all of the year elevator. Or like what was the other series? There's another show that was kind of like that. It's about those, what was the name of, I literally can hear the intro song in my head. Promise Neverland. That show. It's better as a read than a watch, to be honest, because they kind of messed it up. And I was reading that and that was pretty good. That's my form of reading. Which I don't know how to read, by the way. As long as it has pretty pictures, I'm good. That's all I care about, pretty pictures. I don't know how to read. I interpret the pictures. I think I'm doing a really good job at interpreting pictures. Especially if I was able to get all that information out of the Abyss series just by looking at the pictures. Pretty good at what I do. More of a especially love anything that's a train wreck, because you always think to yourself, man, My life can be bad, but I'm glad it's not that bad. And then you point at the series that's that bad, if not worse. And that's definitely one of those. It's pretty bad. Making sure. Oh, that's what I was talking about. It was a book that I was reading. Well, a manga I was reading. And City was commenting about the series. I just went on on a 30-minute rant about a series that I started reading. If you want to know more about it, the best place to go is probably my YouTube site, so that way you can actually rewind it and then listen to the entire rant. But I'm an art YouTube, which is the same name, but just add 3D at the end. Overall, if I had to rate it so far, I would give it a 8 out of 10. Because it does everything that you would want in a series. It pulls you in, it hooks you in, and it keeps you hooked, you know? Like, there are series that are like, okay, that's cool, great story, whatever, you know? But then there's ones that actually hook you and make you keep turning the page. Like, the fact that it made me read 31 chapters in like 3 hours was enough for me to be like, yeah, it's good. Is it everyone's cup of tea? Probably not. But did it keep me invested and hooked that I'm gonna read some more tonight? It did. So 8 out of 10. Does it make me question the mental health of the creator, the author of this manga? Most definitely. Because you have to be like on something serious to come up with that. Like, that's a lot to take in. And it's just a roller coaster ride. It's like every time the roller coaster slows down, it fucking dips. And you're just wondering how the ride's gonna go. I want to see the end result. I want to see the crash. It can't be good. Honestly, I'll be surprised if no one actually dies. Because I'm under the impression that their deaths are gonna be had. Like, there's gonna be some deaths. Will it be the main character? I don't know. Will it be the main character and all of the people that he's messing around with right now? Probably. Will it be the teacher? Probably the first one, honestly. Once the whole teacher situation gets out and she ends up losing everything, including the ability to get a future job and everything, like she just ruined her entire fucking future and career with the situation that she's in. Oh yeah, most definitely. The teacher's probably gonna be the first one to go for the swim. Like, I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. Because she's gonna be like, how do I recover from this? It was supposed to be a secret, and it's not a secret anymore. So no, it's a psychological rom-com thriller thingy. Definitely a lot of dark themes to it. Because literally the first like chapter is the main character being confronted by some chick that says, hey, you want to jump off a bridge with me? So there's all that. And his response is, yeah, sure, why not? So and every time everyone the manga does this thing which is very known in a lot of manga. Whenever someone is going through like you know, when they're hearing a bunch of voices and stuff in their head, so it's like the page would be black and then there'd be like white outline bubbles with words in them. And so far the teacher, him, and the childhood friend, female childhood friend, have all had that bubble thing happen to them, where they're going through like some mental breakdown, and it's just a bunch of bubbles talking about how they have nothing to continue living for, and their life is ruined, and there's no future, and all that other stuff. It's done that for all those three characters so far. And those three characters have also already talked about going for swims. So I wouldn't be surprised. And I feel like it's gonna be a repeat of the guy's book, because the author wrote a book about a chick that came to that town, and there's a lot of jealousy and stuff like that happened because he was dating that chick, and a lot of people ended up going for swims out of jealousy and spite for that couple. And there was like a lot of drama and stuff like that happened in the book, and I feel like that book is like a foreshadowing of what's gonna actually happen, because it kind of lines up in a way so far, where this chick comes into town, the main character falls in love with her. There's a lot of people that are jealous about the whole situation. Well, he doesn't really fell in love with her. He just infatuated with the fact that she wants to go for a swim with him. But a lot of people from the outside looking in think they're in a relationship, like a serious relationship, whatever. And there's a lot of jealousy and stuff like that that's going on, even though he's the one running around messing with a lot of other people too. So I do feel like it's gonna, when it ends, it's not gonna end good. It's not gonna end on a happy ending. Like, I feel like it's gonna be A tragedy. Is it labeled as a tragedy now that I think about it? Let me look. Because if it's labeled, if the manga is labeled as a tragedy, we already know it. Oh, it is. There you go. It's labeled as a tragedy. So I know it's gonna happen. And I feel like the guy that wrote, because the guy that wrote the book is in that town now too. And I feel like he's the one trying to orchestrate this whole thing. I don't even care. I have a feeling it's gonna happen, but it's like how it's gonna happen. That's how it works for me when it comes to a lot of spoilers. It's like how is what really picks me in more than anything else. Because we can theory craft all day and say that, oh, it's labeled as a tragedy, so that means there's gonna be some things that happen, but maybe the tragedy is not him. Maybe it's just her. Who knows? Maybe there is a happy ending in a way. Who knows? But usually stuff that's labeled as a tragedy normally doesn't end pretty well. End on a happy note. Well, we'll see. The series ends this year and it's 170 something chapters so far. I don't know if it ended already or not. It's most definitely not. I like reading the stuff sometimes that's most likely not to get an anime adaptation, and this is most definitely not getting an anime adaptation. I'm gonna be honest, like I'll be surprised if it does. Which is even better to read sometimes. Honestly, it's like, just what you get is what you get. It's the end. It's over. I move on to another series. Not everything has to be adapted to an anime. Sometimes some things are better left off as a good read. As long as this one is continues to be an interesting read, I'm invested. Oof. No, I like the Fullmetal Alchemist anime. I've read the manga too, but I'm going more on the lines of something that's like better off not being animated. And the series I'm reading right now is better off not being animated, because it will cause a lot of problems, a lot of controversy too, but a lot of problems. And the thing is, whenever something causes a lot of controversy and problems, it typically ends up only getting like a single season and never getting another one, or it gets changed heavily to try to adapt to everyone's interest and appeal. But when it's just as a manga form, like it's manga only, not many, you don't see anyone on like online complaining about a manga being controversial or anything like that. Most of that stuff is kept to itself. Like, if that show was to get an anime adaptation, then it probably wouldn't last long. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's probably gonna end up getting canceled or changed, if not both. This is true, but you got to think of the time. You got to think of like the time frame whenever it was released. Because when they cry, yes, it got like it was released like in the early 2000s, and it got the adaptions like later on, but it already solidified itself. It didn't have to go. It's like there's certain things that are like protected by just age in general. Like let's say South Park. South Park, if it was released now, it wouldn't last long. Boondocks, if it was released now, it probably wouldn't last long. But due to the fact that it was released at a certain time period, it's fine, you know. Like if they did a Boondocks reboot, no one would bat an eye because Boondocks already did its thing. It already solidified its spot, and it won't get touched. But it feels like a brand new IP that didn't get an early release in the early 2000s, then it's like, I don't know, probably won't do well. Because there's already a couple examples of shows that were released and ended up getting canceled ever because of what they were, and it was like if they were released earlier, then they would have been fine. Because you got I fucking love Berserk, but you got Berserk. If Berserk was re-released, was like brand new IP and it was released in this day and age, it probably wouldn't last long. Yeah, and Goblin Slayer is a really good example because Goblin Slayer was one of the series that released and it had a lot of controversy behind it, and it was on the verge of getting canceled. Same with Shield Hero. But Berserk, I would say it's 10 times worse than Goblin Slayer. Like, let's be honest. Like, and if anyone's read Berserk, then they know that it's like way worse than Goblin Slayer. And people praise not Goblin Slayer, but people praise Berserk this day and age. But if Berserk was released, if Berserk was in the spot of Goblin Slayer, it would be, it wouldn't last long. Like if Goblin Slayer was released at the same time as Berserk, the Goblin Slayer would be like, oh my god, this is edgy, this is cool, whatever. And if Berserk was released at the same time as Goblin Slayer, it'd be like, this is edgy, this is not good at all. We need to take this series down. Instead of being like, you know, this ain't my cup of tea. Like pat on the back for anyone that is cup of tea. I'll let y'all enjoy this show, but it's not my thing. I'm gonna have a nice day and go watch something else. But it's never like that. It's never like, hey, that's an interesting show. I don't like it, but it's okay that you like it. I'm gonna go watch something else. Instead, it's, I don't like that show. No one should be allowed to watch that show. We need to get that show pulled from air. We need it to change. And usually the people that complain about that stuff had no intention of even watching or playing the game, because it's the thing with games too. Because look at Stellar Blade. Half the people that are complaining about Stellar Blade had no interest in even playing Stellar Blade. But let's be honest. I put hours into Stellar Blade so far, I'm gonna be honest. It just reminds me of Nier, and I like Nier. It's true. Time and people do change. I just wish it was more on the lines of, there are shows that I don't like, but you don't see me hitting the streets trying to get the show removed entirely. Like that, what's that one show that everyone was like in love with? The what was it, the reviewers one? Like, I never even bothered watching that show. I don't like any, I have no interest in it whatsoever. And there's a lot of people that really enjoy it, but it's just not my thing. So I just never watched it. I'm not gonna judge you differently if you did watch it. I know nothing about Monster Musume. I know like the snake chick because people have the body pillows of it, but you don't see me trying to cancel that show or anything like that. And there's the spider chick. I've seen her a couple times and I think she looks pretty cool, but it hasn't been enough to make me get into the series or anything like that. I hear the series is good, but I also feel like the series is definitely not my cup of tea. I just never spent the time to go look into it. No, not Reincarnated as a Spider. Monster Musume. Reincarnated Spider is good. I like that series. But I'm more of going on the lines of, I had no intentions of ever watching the show because I felt like it wasn't my cup of tea. So I wasn't going out of my way to make sure no one else is able to watch the show. I accept the fact that not everything, I won't enjoy everything that everyone else enjoys. And it's okay. You enjoy your thing, I enjoy my thing. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I do want to reread Berserk though. It's been a minute. I know that's a long read. The reason why I dropped Berserk though was because I was reading on this one site. This was like years ago. I was reading on this one site and the site messed up the uploads. So it accidentally uploaded multiple chapters back to back, the same chapter multiple times back to back a couple times. So it threw off, because I was like reading the chapter and then I finished the chapter, I go into the next chapter. I was like, this seems really familiar. And it was like a chapter that I already read 4 chapters ago. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I was scrolling through and it was just like a repeat of the same chapters. And I just ended up getting lost, and I was like trying to figure out what chapter was I really on because the numbers were all so wrong, and I didn't want to go through the time and energy to go through the chapters, try to figure out where I'm at. And I also wanted to be able to read it on my phone through like an app or whatever, but the apps at the time weren't really the greatest. But now I got a good reading app on my phone, so I'll take the time to I'm just gonna reread it instead of trying to figure out where I left off at, because now it's been years later and I don't even remember where I left off at, to be honest. Same with Claymore. Claymore is a different story. they only released a chapter like once every 2 or 3 years, so it like slowed down, really slowed down. So you kind of just forget about a series sometimes whenever it's like, oh, it's been a year, time to go see if they updated it. I never got into watching the anime for Berserk because I just never was a fan of the whole CG thing. I saw the CG and I started breaking out in cold sweat and hives and foaming at the mouth and vomited a couple times, and then I turned it off and went to go watch something else. And I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I really hope that someone, a studio, picks up Berserk and actually like reanimates it, but not with the CG. Like I wouldn't mind if it was like Ufotable, Bones, Madhouse. Just as long as they don't, like, you know, go crazy on the CG. There are good CG anime out there. It's just they're very limited. Like Inuyashiki, I believe, was that was CG and it was pretty good. That's the one with the what's your favorite anime? And then she's like, One Piece, and he's like, oh shit, mine too. And she's like, are you gonna kill me like you killed my family? He's like, what are you talking about? We're talking about One Piece right now. Why'd you bring that up? That show. That was such a random conversation for him to try to start. Like, he literally just killed her entire family and wants to talk about One Piece. And then gets upset when she's like, are you gonna kill me too? Bro's just trying to have a friendly conversation about his favorite series after murdering her entire family. Yeah, I think Shiki was pretty wild. The theme song was a bop though. The intro title was a bop. Currently, when it comes to shows, though, I'm watching Go Go Loser Ranger, I believe it's called. It's like people compare it to like The Boys, like The Boys but anime, and I can see that because the people that you thought were the ranger group that you thought were keeping the planet safe are pretty bad, but it's like they're bad towards the monsters that they kind of enslaved and forced to fight every weekend. And it's from the monsters' perspective of being like, yo, we're tired of being treated like this. We're gonna break free. Well, one of them is like, I'm gonna break us free, and then we're gonna take over the world. So he's still kind of a bad guy, but he's just tired of being a bad guy that's enslaved by the good guys. The problem is they're not the heavy hitter bad guys. They're the grunts. Have you ever seen like Power Rangers and stuff? You know how there's like those little grunts that run around that the Power Rangers fight, and they're usually able to one tap them, and it's like, oh, you beat all the grunts, and then the main bad guy finally steps up, and then they fight, and then they turn in giants and stuff. It's the grunts. They enslaved the grunts. They killed all the big hitters and was like, yo, we killed all your masters, you guys are left. If let's make a deal, you're gonna work for us now, and in working for us, that means every Sunday we're gonna kick your ass and kill you in front of a crowd in a stadium. And the grunts are like, well, shit, we don't want to die, like permanently die, because they can respawn. Obviously they're like immortal, but there's a way to like permanently kill them too. And they're like, we don't want to permanently die. I guess we can do this. It's not a bad gig. And then they actually do it, and it's a horrible gig, because the Rangers will come up to their little hideout on their free time. This is their free time, by the way. They're like normal workers. They're like, hey, we don't have to do anything until Sunday. Let's plan out our next invasion, whatever, at the stadium to make it entertaining. And then we'll just sit around and listen to the radio, chill, play video games, read manga, you know, all that kind of stuff. But then they got these Rangers popping up in their house. They're like, yo, and, you know, terrorizing them. So now they get no free time to themselves at all. They got to play yes man to the Rangers every time they come up and to their house and beat the shit out of them on a daily basis. Some of them kind of accepted that's just the way it is, while others are kind of like, this is kind of fucked up. I kind of want to be free. But they're like, what can we do? We're just the grunts. We're weak as shit. Can't see them entirely. Hell no. It's an interesting series so far. I'm only like on, it just started, so I think it's only like 2-3 episodes out. So I'm just waiting for the next episode to get dropped, and in the meantime, I'm watching catching up on Dungeon Meshi. aka Delicious Dungeon. Supposedly it gets really good. It's supposed to get like dark. From my understanding, from what people are saying, it's like one of those shows that kind of catches you off guard where you think it's like all peaceful and happy and shit, and then it just gets dark. But I wouldn't know just yet. I'm only like, I don't even think I'm in the double digits on episodes yet. Yeah, I'm only like on episode 7 right now. Well, no, 9. Today I'll be watching 10. Well, actually, tomorrow I'll be watching 10. Because I watch it while I work out. So I usually watch about 2 episodes while I'm working out. I got my work shows that I watch while I'm at work. And then I got my workout shows that I watch while I work out. Because if I did both at the same, I would be blowing through shit way too fast and be left with nothing to watch. It's the only way to slow myself down a little bit. I'm not happy with this right here, mostly because of the there we go. That definitely fixed a lot of the fucking cord in the way. I need to buy me a new aux cord. The aux cord that I have right now for my headsets is too small, so I'm not able to run it around stuff like I did with the old one. So it gets in the way. It like dangles like directly across my my drawing pad because it's too short. And so whenever I'm on this side, the cord's like right here. Like right here on this side, and it gets in the way. It's too small of an aux cord. Hmm. Oh, this song makes me always think of like damn. Makes me think of Halloween Town. No. Nightmare Before Christmas. Makes me think of Nightmare Before Christmas. But it's not. There's another song that literally sounds like it, like the Pumpkin King. But that'll be it for today. We pretty much, I was just doing some stuff. Wasn't really aiming for anything. Like this isn't really like something that I'm gonna be continuing. I just wanted to test out and try out something, play around with how I make heads a little bit to try to change it up a little bit, test out new shit. That's why I didn't really do anything with the rest of the body or anything like that. I was more focused on the head more than anything else. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, same time. Maybe we'll start the actual next project tomorrow. See where it goes from there. Can't say I'm entirely. It's not bad. To me, it definitely. It's what's bothering me most is I want to go for like a smaller mouth and smaller nose. It just doesn't look right to me though. Like it probably looks fine to everyone else, but to me it just doesn't look right. And when I add like the hair, and it looks fine. Definitely looks more like an alien without the hair though. But that's when you know you're going the right direction, I guess. I don't know. It's more convincing myself that it looked right than anyone else, to be honest. It's because I'm so used to sculpting in another type of way that looking at something kind of new doesn't really jump out at me just yet. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna be heading on out for now. I do appreciate when they came out today. I'll be back tomorrow, same time. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm Nyxx. I'll be signing out. I'll let y'all know more on that series that I'm reading, Boys Abyss. Let you know how much of a train wreck it becomes. Let you know if anyone actually goes for a swim, and let you know on the outcome of the bully, the childhood friend, the guy, the idol, the husband, the teacher, all that stuff. Anyway, on that note, I'm Nyxx. I'll be signing out. You have a good day.